edition of your live electronic music tutorials. If you guys watch other of my tutorials, you know I'm making music in real time for quite some time. I make music, I made a lot of tracks, and this particular track that we're going to talk about today is Mikas Nemesis. This is a track that I started literally in January 2020. I made the first episode, it's actually episode 50. And then I went into another episode and actually mixed the track, and much later on I actually finished the track in December of 2021, and it's gonna be released, guys, in April 29, Beatport exclusive, which is the day I'm releasing this video, so you have to check out the track, guys, Mikas Nemesis. But what we're gonna talk about today is the whole process. I think a lot of people don't understand that music is great, it's amazing, you can make the best track, but if you have a thought process behind it, if there's really a structure, if you really know where you're going and you have a direction, it's really gonna help you move forward. So I want to explain to you guys what I did for this release, so you guys understand that, you know, some big releases, there's a lot of work being done, and all the work that you do before the release and during the release, like the release week, the release month, the promotion, will all yield a lot of results. Like I said, music is extremely important, however the promotion is also extremely important. I will start by naming the track. The name of this track is Nemesis. You know what is Nemesis? Arch Nemesis, like, you know, your enemy. For me, Nemesis is a Greek god. It's like the symbol of revenge, you know, because it's the god of revenge, of war a little bit. It's a bit of war with myself. Either I'm gonna release music, I'm not gonna release music, I'm not certain. Is it good enough? You know, it's like a story that I have with myself, and I said, okay, I will release music again, I will relaunch my label, I will really do something, and I really want something special, so I name it Nemesis. And the cover, of course, is extremely important. And the cover that I choose for that is a volcano, is something that is dormant, that is getting ready to explode, which is the concept for this release of the rebirth of my music career and the rebirth of my record label. As you know, I run WeMakeDanceMusic.com, and it's a lot of work, so I didn't really have time to dedicate to music. Now I decided to split myself a little bit, because after 10 years of running a website 7 days a week, I want to do something else. Anyway, guys, let's continue. So basically, this EP, 3-song, the original mix, which is more techno-y, kind of like the new mix that I've done, which I call Future Melodic, which is a lot more like melodic techno, much more driven. And of course I did the mix, like, you know, in an actual fashion with all the knowledge that I accumulated, so it's a lot cleaner, it has a different vibe, it's punchier. I really worked the element. And an EP is great if you had another track. Why? Because maybe the main track doesn't cater to everyone. Maybe the people will discover the EP through that second track. The second track is Addictive, which I actually released before. However, I didn't have such a great studio to mix it in, so I kind of remixed it, made it like really chunky, put the drum really in the right place, and I made it made it onto the EP. It's hard to say if it's melodic techno or if it is really techno. It's quite raw, but if you know me, there's a lot of kind of ambiances. There's a big groove, there's big drums and stuff, and it's very interesting. So this make the EP is 3 tracks, and you know, it's important in an EP that you bring something, you bring an experience. There is a theme, you know, there is something. An EP is 3 tracks, and it's more than a single. If it's a single, okay, you're able to make a single song, make 3 versions and remixes, it's a thing. But an EP for me is so much richer. If you didn't know, guys, EP means extended play. There's LP, long play, EP, extended play. That means it need to have a certain amount of songs or a certain amount of time that the song will play. This come actually from vinyl from back in the days. You know, the vinyl, they either were 45, 33 RPM, and they could more or less, they could put more or less songs into the record, which is what records are about. So guys, another very important thing I want to talk about, so you guys understand, you know, the release process, is promotion. So basically, if you make music and maybe you want to put it with this DistroKid or another symphonic distribution, and you know, other distributors that are there's plenty now. You can do SoundCloud distribution and everything. It's great. However, if you just release a track, don't expect people to find it, because every day there was a stat. I think there was something like 22,000 songs released, or EP even released every day. So imagine you're one of those 22,000. How people gonna get to find your music? They won't. It's simply they won't. So any music that is not promoted doesn't really exist. It will only exist for the people that is promoted to. One of the best way to promote is you pitch it to Beatport. So if you have something, maybe you've done music before, you had successes, you have a plan, you have a business plan maybe, because yes, it is business, it is music business, and you better have a plan if you want to go somewhere with this. So basically, pitch it to Beatport. How you pitch to Beatport is you go to your distributor, if you have one that is open to pitching to Beatport, that is, and then you submit a one sheet. The one sheet is kind of like a little bit of a CV of your song. So your song, maybe you send it to, let's say it's a techno song, send it to Jeff Mills, he actually played it on his radio show. Thumbs up, you have a good chance to get a feature. So you basically have to say what you will do with this release, so they will consider you. Do you have a budget for it? Are you gonna put ads for it? Did you send it to the best DJs in the world? You have track record of you as an artist doing something. So all of that accumulate with time, right? So if you, let's say my record label, Progressive Grooves Records, 10 years ago, we had massive success. All the biggest DJs in the world played our music. Why? Because we spent literally 4 years every day pitching to DJs, seeing who's gonna like this track, who could this work with, signing artists and stuff. And basically, eventually we got Tiesto to play 2 of the tracks, actually 3 of the tracks of our label on this radio show, played it live. Massive success because of that, Why? Because we pitched and we thought, would this work with Tiesto right now? Yes, okay, let's send it to him. Oh, would this work with Pete Tong? This is a bit of a difficult one to have access to those people. However, you need time, you need to be prove to them that you're worthy. So basically, people have to hear of you somewhere and it's like, oh, I heard of this guy. Oh yeah, I heard of this guy. Oh, maybe, this track, this label, this something. So you have to build a reputation. It's like anything in any businesses. If you want to sell, cars and you just start a new brand like Tesla, it'll take a long time. And eventually you will get there. Of course, I'm looking at my notes. So basically, the Beatport one sheet, you have to fill it with information relevant. If you have magazines, if you have features, if you have articles, if you have interviews, if you have radio shows, if you have support, you have to put it all in there to show to Beatport that you are really actively working on your release to promote it. And then they might give you a feature that's going to be even more valuable than any of other things that you did, because it's going to put eyes on your release. When people have eyes on your release, they're going to listen. If it works with them, they will buy it. If it doesn't work, they won't buy it. There's something in electronic music that is very particular. There's a genre thing, and then there's a taste thing. First the genre, let's say melodic techno, and then there's a taste. So some people like very melodic techno with vocals, some people like very airy melodic techno, band boomer, or maybe up-bat kind of thing that is not really at all the same as some really pounding track like maybe stereo production, things like that. So you don't know who's gonna work, but you have to pitch it to as many people as possible, so you find the people that like it, the people that would like it, hopefully will get to play it, cater to a huge audience. You can also pitch to Spotify. Pitching to Spotify is easy if you go on your Spotify profile. If you manage your profile, let's say as an artist, or you have a label that manages your profile for you, you go to Spotify artist and you pitch your release. A little bit the same as Beatport, saying that you have something. I actually did it for this release, Nemesis, and there's a very little, I think 1,000 characters. So I really had to shorten my pitch to say, I'm an active artist for like 20 years. I release music, I get support. I shrink it down, a bit of description of the track of what it is, so they get to listen to it. They probably listen to it. Maybe they're gonna find it interesting for their audience. It's exclusive to them and exclusive to Beatport at the same time. This is something I've been recommended by my distributor to do, to have exclusive for DJ to download and another exclusive for streaming. So Spotify do like this. They tend to give more features if you do something like that. This is very important. Do your pitch on Spotify. It's a great idea. I think you can pitch to other places. If you're distributed by SoundCloud, you can pitch to SoundCloud. But again, you have to have something to show for it. Like, here's my new track, listen to it, play it. No, this is not enough. Like I said, you have to have track record. You have to do something. It's like you're gonna come to the best DJ in the world. Like, check out my track. I actually have a story about this, guys. I was in Miami a while ago, and I ran after Pete Tong to give him my CD. I don't know if you like literally, I've seen him. I was like, oh, this is Pete Tong, man. I had my CDs because back then it was still CDs. I ran after him to drop him a CD, and I was super stoked. I'm like, yeah, I got my music to Pete Tong. I'm sure he doesn't remember, but eventually, it's gonna be a story I'm gonna be able to tell him. It's like, if you get to play my music, it's important. Another pitch that is very important: if you live in England, you might be luckier. If you live in another country, it's a little bit more difficult. BBC Introduce. So you go on the BBC, do BBC Introduce, you can upload your music to the BBC, and then they will listen to it, and if it's a fit, or if they feel it's something that some of their DJ could play, they will play it, and they will let you know if they play it, which is great, because other stations do not let go, but BBC is well organized. They do actually in England. Dance music is a big thing. So if they play your music, they will let you know, so you can be, wow, somebody played my music on BBC. So BBC Introduce, guys, check it out, type it. This is another good way. And I would say locally to your radio station, if you have community radio, if you have in Canada, we have CBC, we have Radio Canada. There's places like that where you can upload your music, submit it to their catalog, so they might eventually play it. Of course, there's community radios, places like this. If you have friends that have shows and things like that, it's a good way to pitch. And finally, for promotion, guys, pitching to DJs. This is the holy grail of what we do. This is why I ran after Pete Tong. This is why I personally hired promotion agencies everywhere in England, in Canada, in the US to promote radio. Some would say we put your music on the radio. I wouldn't count on it, because most electronic music doesn't really get to play on radio. There's a lot of DJs that have shows that get broadcasted on radio, but this is not them that put the music on the radio, it's the DJs that play with them, so you have to get to the DJs. The DJs are just about anyone. A lot of those DJs are open. So a good example of this, I sent this release, Nemesis, which is techno, a bit more progressive, melodic. I sent it to Amelie Lenz, which played really hardcore techno, and she didn't like it, she unsubscribed. So I was like, okay, that's a bit of a loss, but I totally understand that this is not her thing. While I think it could work for her, the feel that she's looking is completely different, which is exactly what I talked about. You have the genre, and then you have the taste of that person. So when you send promo to DJs, you have to select them. Select your list, make sure you send it to people who likes this. I think this track would work well, let's say, for Miss Money. Gonna send it to her, gonna send it to people, build a list, try to find those people, research them, message them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, try to find the right people to send the music. This is key, and this has always been key. It might take you 3 months, 6 months, it might take you a year before you get through to a DJ with a track that works. But if this DJ is influential, Nora and Pure, Miss Monica, I say woman, it could be Pete Tong, it could be Sasha, it could be John Digweed, like the name now, like, you know, Afrojack and things like that. But if you get through to those people, and then you have your chance, it's gonna shine. You're gonna be able to tell everyone that your track got played on this radio show, and then you're gonna gain credibility. And with this credibility, you'll be able to build. I know I talk a lot, guys. You can rewind, forward, but this is all extremely important. So another thing, again, about promotion, DJs, very important. This is the key to anyone's success. You guys know, if you want to succeed, you have to be kind of supported by people. David Guetta supported Afrojack to launch his career. It's a great example of that. So Tiesto supported Hardwell. You know, I actually interviewed Hardwell in one of my TV shows before, and you know, he toured with him. So Hardwell became extremely successful. They're both Dutch. There's some similarities. Definitely Hardwell had a great story. He started DJing very young, so it was very interesting, but then he had success because of that. How did he do this? I explained to you simply. Hardwell tweeted to Tiesto that I get that new track, and then Tiesto listened to it. Wow, this is a great track, man. Let's make a track together. Boom, exploded. This is how it happened. This is the beginning of something. I hope you guys enjoyed this, because I'm really laying it all on the line. This is key. So another important things about promotion, I am doing this for this release, Mikas Nemesis, you're gonna see it if you browse around on the internet, is paid promotion. Why paid promotion? Because the idea, like the guy at Magnetic Mag told me, you have to get eyeballs onto your release. Why? Because before somebody get to listen to your track, you might have to see it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I heard it here. Listen to this and that. Oh, this label. Oh, this guy. It's gonna take a long time. So before you get your name into somebody's head who could be interested in music potentially in the future, or you know, play and stuff, you need to do something. It's not gonna happen only once. So paid promotion is a good way. You can do some features. You can get into some blogs, get some interviews on the internet, whichever. That will really help you put your music in front of more eyeballs and put your name out there so people get to see it. The way they do it on SoundCloud is Premiere. So you have a lot of channels that are premiering some music which really give a lot of exposure. And again, if the people like what you do, they will go and get it. They will buy it on Beatport, they will steal it, whichever, but it will get eyeballs. And if you get to the right people, likely you will have success. But to be able to do so, you have to get as many people as possible to look at your release. That's it, guys. This is the secret to success. So there's another factor that is very important that is also representative of all the things that I just said, is chance, luck. So let's say you do a lot of work and there's 1,000 people that get to view your release. There is 20 that buy it on Beatport. Great. So how many you think you will need to have the chance to put it on, let's say, in front of Afrojack eyes, or in front of somebody who will like maybe in my track, maybe a big techno DJ, Anna, maybe probably would play, let's say, Addictive. I feel she could play that. It's a bit more progressive, but main room techno and peak time techno is becoming more progressive, more synthy. So I think it could work. It's a heavy track. So let's say if I reach 100,000 people with my promo, it's featured on Beatport, it's featured in Magnetic Magazine, featured here, featured there, and then they like, oh wow, okay, like somebody see it, Anna sees it's like, oh, I actually got this promo, I didn't even open it. Then she get to open it, she get to play it. Why? Because she's seen it more than once. What is that related to? It's chance. It's really luck. Luck is a factor that is extremely important, but to be able to push luck, you have to be able to reach as many people as possible and to keep on pushing constantly. And let's say I really feel a DJ really would play my track, I will pitch it again. I have a track that I made that's going to be released soon. It's called The Fire. It's a big kind of electro progressive pop track. It's a blend of all of this. I pitched it to Tiesto a couple times, send it to his like personal assistant, send it to everybody. Didn't get to play it, so I guess it's not what he feel is his sound right now, but I tried, maybe later on, if it become more of a hit, maybe he will play it, but I tried, so basically I put all the chances on my side, I retried. So that's it, guys. Now we're gonna get onto the making of this track. I really compiled the best moments, so you can go from the start to the mixing to the finish, and then you can hear the track. And of course, the track that's been playing all along here is this track, Mikas, Nemesis. And then I can lay down the bass line. So I'm going to put it on the beat. This synth is so good. Oh yeah. Bit of noise. So I'm gonna give ourselves a bit more space. Then here I'm looking for some keys. This is beautiful. This is definitely gonna give some vibe. It's like a hard beat in the background. Wait, I really heard something that was worthy of some insertion in this track there. Oh yeah, right there, this. Majestic. First make a sequence and then maybe improve on it. I don't know about that, but we'll try. Let's try to quantize it. No quantizing. Then they fit the mood of the track at this point. Save this baby again. Then so that's the build up, and then in the main part I did this riff with those blocks. Super trippy. So you can see for the pad here, I just did an automation to get it to go up a little bit and to catch into what I think is, no, this is just a reverb, yeah. Little tambourine. I think that worked. So I sidechained the reverb, send effects. I have a feeling that this I will keep. I don't think it's sidechain. Yeah, it is sidechain, but need a bit more love. Faster release. I want it to hit. Work on the gain a little. Now that we have a pretty good sidechain on it, I think it would go really quickly with another compressor, but something to fatten the sound, like an opto, maybe a vintage. So the role of a compressor is really to contain, you know, compression is to make something that was 4 into 1. So let's say the bandwidth of the frequency is narrower, but somehow you have more chunks, it's more contained, while the bass lines seem to be very kind of big in the mix. If you compress it, you're going to be able to contain it directly where you want it to be, which is what I think we've done here. I don't know about you guys, but when I make a track at first, I tend to have the pots, I mean, if you want the mixer, everything too high, and then as I'm mixing, I tend to pull back a lot of the elements, so that really worked. I would even be tempted to even put another one here. I like risers, you know, so let's pick another one that's even more funky or twirly. It's got some to the sky. Here we start very slow, build up here. I like those punchy kicks there. I'd even break them a little bit higher, those. open it to the max to see. I'm just testing. So now I'm gonna go. This is a bit rough, but it's there. Gonna leave a bit of time for those blocks. Start cutting most of the elements. The end. That either, because that would mess up a little bit the mix.